you in a second, you'll be able to see exactly what's going on here in front of my screen. So let me share this with you, share screen. Okay, so hopefully you guys see that now. Is it good?
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
Okay.
Discord.
Okay, good, good. Okay. So now this is our YouTube channel here, by the way. You can see me actually a little bit in the past, right? But Lumi Wealth is our YouTube. Make sure that you guys join that, right? So we're going to be putting a lot of stuff in there over time. So you see, actually, this is a little bit in the past for us here, but it's cool. Okay, so welcome to our presentation for today, our webinar for today. And what we're going to be covering is we're going to be doing a demo of our live trading bot. So I'll walk you through kind of all the little details, but really one thing you need to know about this is that this is meant as a teaching tool. This is not, if you're planning on joining this webinar and seeing something that's going to make you $1 million, I'm sorry to disappoint. This is not that webinar, but this is definitely if you want to build your own, or if you want to learn about basically finance, using Python for finance, or using programming languages for finance, this is the place to be. This is definitely something that's going to look very cool on your resume. And if you have some trading strategies that you want to try out, this is definitely the great way to actually execute on them and to actually be able to test them and see if they work, right? So again, we're not a hedge fund, although we do manage money for other people. If that's something you're interested in, this is not a demo of that. But this is going to be a demo of what we have for you guys so that you can build your own algorithms, right? Okay. So our agenda is going to be, first of all, introduction to myself and the business. We're going to talk about algorithmic trading, kind of the concepts behind it, tools that we're going to be using, the code, and then we're going to do the actual demo, right? Okay, so first of all, for those of you who don't know who I am, who am I, right? So my name is Robert Grezik. I'm a CEO of Lumi Wealth, right? If you've taken any of our classes, you've seen me, either my voice or my video representation of myself in the classes. So I'm usually the one who's teaching a lot of things, although we're starting to grow and we're starting to get more instructors. But for a lot of the classes you see, you'll see me, right? And basically, why listen to me? What's the deal with me? Basically, I've worked on Wall Street for the past 5-6 years, managing software teams and kind of building out things for everything from lending, billion-dollar operations, or actually multi-billion-dollar operation lendings, facilities through software. We've built very high-frequency brokers. If you're familiar with the crypto space, Voyager is one company that I actually helped found back in the day. And now obviously working on Lumi Wealth, and also had a master's in finance back in the day, if that matters to any of you guys. All right. And then, so what is Lumi Wealth? So Lumi Wealth, what we do is we teach finance professionals. So meaning if you're someone who works in finance, if you're someone who works at a bank, if you're someone who has a finance degree, if you're someone who's interested in finance and interested in getting better at investing and that sort of thing, then we're the ones to talk to, right? So we specifically help people in the finance industry and people interested in the finance field. We teach you how to code and how to build algorithms, how to build machine learning capabilities, how to do process automation, all sorts of the good stuff that's going to make your job a lot better. It's going to make you more money, and that's going to help you out with your day trading if that's what you do, right? Okay. We have a main course here, the Python for Finance course. I'm just going to click on this here. So if you guys have never seen it, these are our plans that we have here for our Python for Finance. We have basically 4 different plans. The first one being access to our video library over here. This is our video library. So today's lecture is actually going to be on there if you make this purchase for $300, along with all the code if you want to access that. And then also we're going to be doing, we continually add videos to this. So, we'll have some of our past classes in there. We'll have a lot of things in there if you want to buy the videos only. And then our live classes, this is something that's actually starting in a week, actually. So next week we have our live class starting. And basically this live class is going to teach you about essentially what we're doing here right now, plus more. So if you're new to Python, we'll teach you that. If you've never done data science before, we'll teach you that. We'll teach you how to apply all of that to the finance world. So if you have that job in banking, or if you want to get that job in banking or finance, it's hedge funds, that sort of thing, we'll help you get that job, right? We'll teach you the skills that you need to do that. And then the last part of this course is actually teaching you how to build a financial algorithm, like an algorithmic trading bot, like what we're going to show you. And you'll learn that all throughout this course. You'll have 2 projects that you do. You're going to have one project done where you actually do analysis, kind of like what someone who invests in banking would do. You would analyze stocks and economic trends. And then the second project that you do is actually building out a bot. Now, this is good, not just because if you're a day trader and you want to automate your trades, it's great for that, for sure. But also, this is a very good thing to put on your resume, right? So if you're applying to jobs, if you're applying to, JP Morgan and whatnot, and you have on your resume that you built out of an algorithmic trading robot, it's something that looks very impressive, right? So this is so the goal of this course is really A, to build out these financial algorithms, but also B, to help you get that job in finance, right? Then we have 2 other products here that we sell as well, project and tutoring. These are both very similar. It's basically one-on-one help, right? The only difference between the 2 being tutoring has twice as much time as the project. And now, basically, if you want to work on your own project and you want some help with it, or if you feel that there's something specific you want to work on, or you just want to take our course and just have more of a personalized touch and have someone help you out with that, then these 2 are your go-to, right? Depending on how many hours you want, right? That's different from the live classes, which live classes are going to be you along with a bunch of other classmates, and it's going to be a live session starting next week, as I said, on Monday at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, that is. And essentially it's going to be one instructor, which is going to be myself, and a bunch of classmates. I believe we're almost at about 10 people in the class now. So it's a small class, which is great because you're going to get a lot of contact with the instructor and with other students, right? But it also is enough that you actually get to interact with other students and learn a lot from others. So we did this on purpose. We want to keep it small so we keep the quality high, right? But again, you still get that benefit of talking to some of the other students, which if they're listening right now, fantastic people already. I've gotten to know them, very smart and very hardworking. So definitely. Okay, so those are our plans. To let you know, we also have a free class that you could check out. So if you go here and you want to learn to kind of what is our teaching style like, you can go here and there's a free class on our main webpage, illumiwealth.com. Winning at Python, get started for free. If you're interested in just learning a little bit about what is the teaching style like and whatnot. Although again, this is not live. This is just the videos. So it's not exactly the same thing, but it's if you're interested in seeing what the actual lectures look like, then you can check it out there. Okay, another thing that I want to tell you guys about is our Discord channel. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a little share link into the invite people here and never expire. I'm going to share this with you guys directly into the Zoom chat right here. If I could find where exactly the chat is, chat. Okay, so I'm saying this out to all you guys. Definitely recommend that you join our Discord channel. We have a lot of great conversations going on here. Join Discord. All right, there you go. I sent it out. Great channel for you guys to talk through. There's a lot, as I said, we have a lot of great students that you can talk to about certain strategies and whatnot. And I see someone actually just joined. It's great. And then also, if you have any questions, as usually I respond pretty quickly through Discord and our other instructors as well. So this is definitely a great spot for you guys to join, get some information, learn a little bit about the company and learn a little bit about what you want to do. And then also just get to know other people in the community and other people that are part of the program, right? So it says Discord, and then so again, to let you know, the code and the recording for today's lesson, they're going to be included in the course, even the video lectures, right? So if you sign up for any one of those 3 programs, you have access to all the code that we're talking about here and the actual recording, right? Even the video lectures, you have access to that. Okay, and then just a little reminder, if I don't know if this is the first time you guys have been on this, but at the end, we're going to have a little survey, right? So please don't forget to fill out the survey at the end. It's basically going to ask you, what is the next lecture you want to listen to and kind of get a little bit of feedback from you guys, because we want to make this as good as possible for you guys. This is this business is for you. We care a lot about our customers. We care a lot about you and making sure that you're getting what you want out of this program and out of our company. So please give us that feedback and whatever we can do to help you out. All right. Okay, so now let's jump into it. All right. So algorithmic trading, what is it? Why should you care? Right. So first of all, so some of the most successful hedge funds of all time use algorithmic trading. Right. So some examples here: Renaissance Technologies, Two Sigma, Citadel, Bridgewater. They all have computers running that's executing code for them that is basically trading on their behalf. Right. So if you ever listen to Ray Dalio speak, he's all about setting up specific rules-based systems for trades. This is algorithmic trading in his specific flavor. Renaissance Technologies, these guys are probably the big, the gorilla in the room, even though Bridgewater's bigger, but Renaissance just has such an incredible track record and they're about as pure algorithmic trading as you could possibly get. These guys have $110 billion in assets. They make a 39% average return. That's since the 1980s, I believe, 39% on average. So think about that for a second, guys. If you made a 39% average return, let's talk about this for a second, just to tell you how significant this is, right? If we had 39% and we did that for, let's say, 30 years, and we were able to run that for 30 years, that means if you put in, let's say, $10,000 into a strategy, you would end up with $195 million after 30 years. How about that? 10K into $195 million. That's absolutely insane. It explains perfectly well why Jim Simmons, the guy that runs this firm, is a billionaire, literally, along with actually a lot of the other people that were part of this firm at the beginning. Very, very, very wealthy people. And you can see why. Making 39% a year, you don't even need to take outside investment. Like just doing that on your own, it's huge, right? But a lot of these other hedge funds are very similar. Two Sigma does similar to sort of thing. Citadel, Bridgewater, they all work on algorithms and they all work on this sort of thing. So definitely a good skill to learn, if you ask me, right? And then just to tell you also, if you want to get a job at any one of these firms, the starting salary typically starts around $350,000 a year, US dollars, for an all-in package. So yeah, definitely a very profitable industry. Definitely, yeah, these guys are definitely doing something right? So we want to learn a little bit from them, okay? So that's algorithmic trading. And what exactly is it? It's basically using software to analyze data and make trades, right? So we're going to have some computer programs running. It's going to be analyzing data coming in from the stock market, from Twitter, from Instagram, from satellite feeds, from wherever you want it to come from, right? And then we're making trades based on that information, right? That's essentially what algorithmic trading is, okay? And then importantly as well is that it can either provide trade alerts and you could enter it in manually, or you could just have it automatically execute trades for you, right? So not every single person that uses algorithmic trading wants to have the machine actually execute for them. Some people do want to have an alert and then you trade off of that. Some people prefer to have it execute on their behalf. It just depends on what you're doing exactly, right? Okay, so to talk to you about a little bit our project here and what we're going to be using. So we've built an algorithmic trading bot, something very simple, just so you guys can see what is possible, so you can create your own strategies for this, right? And the tools that we're using is Alpaca. First of all, that's our broker, and we use Alpaca as our broker. It's this guy right here, Alpaca, right? We use them because very easy to learn. So if you guys want to jump on board and start making algorithms, these are your guys. It's going to be very easy for you to get started. Second of all, they have great APIs. So there's lots and lots of things that you do with it. It's not like some of these other brokers, like Interactive Brokers being one of them, very difficult to work with. You know, we're adding tools to actually help make that easier for you guys. But Alpaca is just a great place to get started, a great place to learn. And then number 3 is also they have paper trading, which for some reason a lot of the other brokers don't have. Seems a bit crazy to me if you're doing algorithmic trading, but that's what these guys do, and they allow you to have paper trading accounts. So I could show you this demo without me putting my own money on the line, right? And you can actually see things happening, right? Okay, so that's Alpaca. We're also going to be using Python 3, specifically Python 3. It's the newest version. Definitely recommend using it over 2. Pandas, which is basically a package within Python, and then Visual Studio Code, which is this right here. This is how we're going to be editing our code, right? Okay, it's basically a little text editor, or IDE is what we call it in the field, but it's very simple. It's basically a text editor, right? With some stuff for code, right? Okay, so now our code that we have to show you here, right? This is our little project. And again, when you join our class, you'll have access to all this code. So you'll be able to get started just as quickly as we are, and you'll be able to actually run some of our code that we have here. So as soon as you sign up, you'll have access to all this stuff. If you're joining our live classes, we're actually going to be discussing how all this works, and we're going to help you build your own like this. You don't necessarily have to use our code, but you could definitely take lots of parts of it, or you could just completely use the whole thing if you want and build off of this, right? Which would make your life a lot easier, and you can get a lot more done, right? Okay. Essentially what our code does is it allows you to have several different strategies. We're making it so that you can actually run them all at the same time and split up the budget between each one of them. We have several different data sources. So right now we have Alpaca data, we have Yahoo, we're adding in a bunch more. We're going to be adding in Twitter, we're going to be adding in Instagram, along with machine learning capabilities and all that sort of stuff. So this is code that you guys will be able to use. And when you learn with us, you'll have access to all this stuff, right? Okay, and then importantly also, we have several different brokers that you can use, right? So Alpaca, as I said, is our main one. We're adding in TD Ameritrade, and we're adding in some other ones down the line as well, right? And importantly, this is also very easy for you to create your own strategy, right? And I'll show you just how easy it is. It's very simple to add in new strategies. And then again, if you don't want to use our code, you can just take parts of it and use it and see how you see fit. But this will definitely speed up some of your development time here, right? Okay, and now to show off the demo, right? So first of all, this is, again, just to say, this is meant to show off capability, not trading returns. We have our own algorithms that we use for our investors. We're not sharing that currently right now. And during our course, we can allude to some of the things that we do for our trading if you'd like, but it is not something that we make public because we do run an investment fund. So we try to be careful about that sort of thing. But this will show you a lot of the capabilities of what you could do with our software and what we can teach you how to do and how to build, right? So think about the trading strategies that you want to have built, or think about the cool bot that you'll be able to show off to your potential employers, right? Think about applying to JP Morgan and showing off something cool like this. It'll definitely get some attention, I'll tell you that much, right? Okay, so again, so not meant to show off capability, is not trading returns, right? Just showing what we can do. Yeah, and I'm going to show you 3 strategies today. We have a couple more, but I think just 3 time will permit. And yeah, so we're just going to show off the 3 today. We're going to show off our intraday momentum, okay? Which this one is, there's a lot of people that we spoke to over the phones and spoken to since they joined the course. And a lot of people want to do this intraday trading, where basically you're going to be able to buy and sell stocks within the day and get like 1 minute data. We could actually get it even shorter than 1 minute. The only reason we keep it at this is because it costs a lot of money to get the data, to have it like per second, right? And I know in Discord, we actually had a discussion around this recently, and it does cost some money to get that. So we want to have something that everybody can use. So we're using 1 minute data, right? Which is free, okay? And then we have a stock screener, which is basically going to be looking at the whole universe of stocks that we can find, which is over 10,000 different stocks, and then analyzing them and then making a trade based off of that, right? So we basically are looking at the returns over a 24-hour period, and you'll see how that runs. And then we have one that's a little bit simpler. It's basically a diversification strategy, and this is using Ray Dalio's all-weather strategy, which means you buy basically 5 different assets. You buy long-term bonds, short-term bonds, you buy the S&P 500, gold, and commodities in a specific weighting, and then rebalance every few days or every few weeks. And that's a very simple strategy. We use it within our portfolio as well, and it, believe me, has very good returns. We've done quite well sticking by mostly this sort of strategy as well. So I want to show that off to you guys too. All right. Okay, so without further ado, let's bring this stuff up. All right. So this is our code here. So to walk you through our code a little bit, For those of you that are familiar with Python, if you're not, then it's fine, because when you join our course, we'll teach you how to do all this stuff. We'll teach you from the very beginning on how to code Python, and we'll teach you all the way up until you can build something like this. So don't let this intimidate you too much, but we could definitely get you here. If you're familiar with Python, then this should be a breeze for you, because I think this is pretty easily organized, right? So essentially, we have a few folders here to the left, okay? We have our brokers, where we keep all of our different brokers, and we make it very easy to switch between one and the other, right? So if you want to use Alpaca, that's fine. If you want to use TD Ameritrade, that's fine. We're going to make it very easy for you to switch between the two. We have our data sources, which have Alpaca data. We have Yahoo, and we're continually adding in more and more. We actually have a few in the pipeline. We just didn't add them in right now because we want the code to be a little stable while we're presenting. But we do have even more that are getting ready. We have trading strategies. As I said, we have a couple here. I'm just going to talk about 3 of them, right? But we have a few more as well. And then we have tools, which is essentially just kind of like little helpers that are going to make your life easier when you're coding. And then traders, which this is basically what actually executes a lot of our trades, right? And we're going to have different traders in here as well, because you're going to be able to not just trade stocks, but also just get alerts, get emails, that sort of thing. So that's where all that stuff goes, right? Okay, it's very easy for you to put in your own credentials. You basically add in your API keys and then save the file. You know, I don't mind showing you this because it's a paper account, but this is basically what mine looks like, right? And I will be changing those soon, but whatever. It's a paper trading account, so I don't mind you guys having it. All right, so that's kind of the structure of the code, right? And now we have our main file. And our main file here, it's very easy for me to switch between strategies. Again, we're making this so that you could actually run a few strategies at the same time, but just for simplicity, let's run one at a time, okay? So let's first show off this intraday momentum, okay? So I've uncommented it. I have this here, and I'm going to hit run, okay? And you'll see here that we have a bunch of things going on. What it's doing is it's looking at, and I'll show you this, this thing here, intraday momentum. What it's doing is it's getting a bunch of different symbols: SPY, gold, TLT, Microsoft, and Tesla. You can see it already picked one that it bought. So let's see, sometimes it takes a little while to update. There we go. Okay, so automatically bought Microsoft. As you can see, I didn't place any trades. This is all our robot that actually placed this trade. Okay, and the way that it did it is it basically looked at these 5 different symbols: SPY, gold, TLT, Microsoft, and Tesla, and it calculates which one of them has the highest return, right? So it does this every minute, right? You see here, it does it every minute and checks over the past 2 minutes. Okay, so in this case, SPY had a return of 0.03, gold had a return of 0.02, Microsoft had a return of 0.06 over the past 2 minutes, right? And we're just buying the one that's doing the best, right? That's all we're doing, okay? So you see Microsoft, today it's down a little bit, but it's up since we bought it, right? And now you see it switched, right? So you can actually see our trading robot doing this automatically, right? So it automatically switched from Microsoft to Tesla, and you can see why here, because when it analyzed all the returns, you can see Tesla had a higher return over the past 2 minutes than did Microsoft. So it swapped those, right? Okay, so that's perfect. So you can see this like very simple strategy that's working intraday, and we're already making money off it, which is great. So yeah, so that's essentially our intraday momentum strategy. And you can imagine you could turn this into pretty much anything that you want. You can analyze price data. You can analyze moving averages over time. I know a lot of people like doing these technical things. You can do things where you pull the latest pricing information or latest analysts' recommendations. There's a bunch of different things you can get. Economic data, analyst recommendations, financials, pricing data, you know, just simple risk management. There's a ton of things you could do, and this allows you to really easily create these strategies. I'll tell you, when I built the strategy, it took me about 30 minutes. So, and it's very easy to modify, right? And that's just because we have a lot of code that you could already work off of, and because it's we have all these things built in already. So it's pretty simple to get this stuff going. Okay, so that's our one strategy, and I want you to watch this too. When I hit close cancel, it automatically will sell off everything. So you'll see Tesla gets sold off, and now we have no strategy going on, right? This is something you can modify on your own. If you want to have this, you can. If you don't want to have it, then don't. But basically, this is something so that if something happens to the bot, it automatically sells everything. So you're not worried about is there a trading strategy going on in the background. Okay. And as you can see, we made some money. So that's nice. So we made $30. Actually, I think more than that because I started lower. So we made something like $100 so far. So it's great. Okay. All right. So now show off another one of our strategies here. So another strategy is our stock screener. This one's going to take a little bit of time to execute because it does go through a lot of data. So I'm going to hit run and then I'm going to describe to you what it's doing. Basically, when we open up the file here, what it's doing is it's going and finding a list of 10,000 stocks across the board. Okay. I think it's actually more than 10,000. It's the whole stock universe that we have available to us, right? On any of the major exchanges, essentially. And it is looking at the returns over the past 24 hours. Okay. So which stock had the highest return over past 24 hours. Okay. And then it's going to buy those stocks. And also it's automatically going to put something called a stop loss order on it as well. So if you buy the stock and it starts to fall really quickly, it will automatically sell it for you through the broker. Okay. So it's buying these stocks and it's placing stop loss orders automatically. Okay. So you see here, it found a bunch of stocks. You see it's going through everything, right? Trying to calculate which one has the best returns. And then as you see, it's going to start buying them if we just wait a little bit, right? So let's wait a little bit for this to actually show up here. But essentially, as you can imagine, this is basically a stock screener, right? So think about what you can do with, there it is, right? So all these showed up here, right? So you see all the stocks showed up. I think it's 10 we limited to. As you can see, they're all doing really well. MDRR 211%. So we're just riding that wave, right? KXIN 155%. We're riding that wave, right? And then a couple of these ones that are lower. And this is because we're looking at a 24-hour period. We're not just looking today. We're looking at what happened yesterday. So if you guys want to pull out your Robinhoods or whatever and check these out, I guarantee you when you look at them, these are stocks that have been up over the past 24 hours, okay? And it bought them and it automatically also posted these stop losses, right? So it will automatically sell it when it reaches a certain point, okay? So for SOS, it's at $202.74. It will automatically sell it at $2.57 if it falls that much. So to protect your losses, right? So this is an automatic robot doing this sort of thing. Now, as you can imagine, you could expand this out to do a lot more for you, right? So you can have something that analyzes all 10,000 stocks, create some sort of stock screener to analyze it for whatever types of things you want to analyze. Good financials or have been up for the past week or two, or whatever you want to actually analyze, you can do that and just put it into the algorithm and it will work for you. Okay. All right. So that's our stock screener. As you can see, it executes all these things. Now, again, when I hit cancel, what it's going to do is it's going to sell off all these stocks and it's also going to cancel all those stop loss orders, right? So this way, if you're trading midday, something happens, it can automatically exit everything for you. So you don't have to worry about that. So you see all those canceled, submitted, boom, there you go. We're out of all those positions, okay? All right, so that is that strategy. And then we'll show you the last one here. Okay, so last strategy is our diversification strategy. And this one, what it's doing is it's going to buy, as I said, the Ray Dalio mix of stocks and bonds and commodities, right? Specifically, it's going to put 30% into SPY, 40% into TLT, 15% into IEF, which is short-term bonds, is long-term bonds, short-term bonds, gold, 7.5%, and commodities, 7.5%. Okay, so it's automatically going to execute all that for you, right? This is something you can even put into a server and just have it run forever. It just automatically rebalance your portfolio, and there you go. I'm sure you'll make some very good money doing this, to be quite honest with you. But you can also change your own weightings here, right? So if you have a different asset mix that you want to have, you can change this. You can actually even make it smart so that it adapts the asset mix based on valuations and things like that, which is kind of what we do with our investors. So we have essentially this type of portfolio, but we do modifications of it. So we're always very well diversified, but we're taking advantage of short-term situations. All right. But that's essentially kind of the main thing here. So we're creating a diversified portfolio following Ray Dalio, again, the CEO of, or used to be a CEO of Bridgewater, and raised $140 billion to run his funds. I think he knows a little bit about investing. This is what he recommends as a simple strategy. And this is his alpha fund, or sorry, not his alpha fund, his all-weather portfolio fund. That's what it's called. Thank you. It's his all-weather portfolio. It's one of his biggest funds. It actually uses this strategy at its basics. This is obviously, it gets more complicated from here, but this is kind of the beginning parts of it. So you'll see again, when we look at our stocks, we have nothing here. We'll hit run. As soon as I switch it over to this diversification thing here, save, let's hit run. And now it's getting all these shares, and you'll see, boom. It's like magic. Basically just bought all these stocks and bonds for us. Makes our life very simple. It's the exact right proportions. And one thing actually I should mention as well is that we're giving each one of these strategies a budget, right? So our budget here is $40,000. So it took $40,000 and split it up across the board, right? So eventually we're adding this functionality right now where you're going to be able to execute several strategies at the same time. We're going to have this probably by tomorrow or after tomorrow, where we'll be able to run all three strategies at the same time, so that you have a little budget for some, momentum strategy that you're doing. You have most of your portfolio in a diversified strategy. You can do all sorts of interesting things here to make sure that you A, manage your risk well, and B, make money trading, right? Which is kind of what we're here for. Yeah, so that's our main strategies here. Okay. Again, this is something that I think would be great if you're into day trading or into trading stocks in general. But also I think this would be a fantastic thing to show off at a job interview, right? So if you guys are interested in getting jobs in finance, for me, I've hired personally probably 30, 40 people on Wall Street in software capacity. I've hired hundreds of people throughout my career at software startups and throughout the world. I could tell you this is something that would impress a lot of people. If you show up and you say, I built something that can analyze stocks, look at a bunch of data, use machine learning, and then actually execute trades, and you walk into a job interview with that, I believe me, they'll give you some really good attention for that, right? So this is not just for people that are looking to day trade. This is something that's people that are actually looking to get a job in the finance field, all right? Okay, so that is our presentation in a nutshell, okay? Now, I'm going to open this up to you guys to ask some questions, okay? So if you guys know how to ask questions, basically it's the Q&A, right? I don't know if you can see my screen here, but essentially you go on the Zoom chat here and you hit Q&A, and then you should be able to type in questions and ask me questions. There's also a chat, so if you want to ask something through chat, we can do that as well. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little bit of time to ask questions. I know last time it took a little bit of time for people to type out the questions, so let's wait that through.
There is one question already there.
There's one question already? Okay. Okay, so there's one question here. Seeing that you have multiple brokers, does this mean our code is transferable from broker API to other API? Yes, that is exactly the purpose of this, right? Right now we have Alpaca in there. We're adding in the other brokers, but that is exactly what we're planning on doing, so that you can do all your, and I'd actually recommend doing this, your paper trading with Alpaca. Make sure that everything's working well there. And then once you're ready with everything, you can move it over to another broker. You can move it over to TD Ameritrade. Again, we're going to be continuously adding in brokers here. Even for crypto, we want to add in brokers as well. So yeah, so that's kind of the main point here, is that you'll be able to switch brokers. Okay. Would this be helpful for someone that does not know much about finance? Yes, yeah, definitely. This is something that is going to teach you, first of all, how to code. It's going to teach you how to do data science. So one of the reasons why it's actually great to learn how to code through finance, right, is that there's actually a lot of data and there's a lot of feedback that you get, right? So I speak to people all the time that aren't in the finance industry. This really is geared towards people in the finance industry. But if you're someone who just wants to learn how to code, wants to learn Python, wants to learn data science, I can't think of a better field to learn. There's so many different data sources, so many different things you can do with finance that you can actually really take the knowledge that you learn here and put into almost any other field. Just because, other fields, they don't have this much data, right? Unless you work at some large corporation, they'll have a lot of data there. Okay, so yes, I do think this is useful for people that don't know much about finance. And then if you want to learn about finance, we'll definitely teach you. That's kind of what we're here for as well, right? Okay, so next one. Do you teach how to back test the various strategies that you're showing? Yes. Actually, even if you buy our videos only, you'll be going through this. But in our live classes, the way it's structured is we first, and maybe I should actually bring this up even. Let's go to, yeah. So let me walk you through kind of what our live classes go over. And this again is starting in a week, right? So if you guys want to join this, now's the time. We're going to be closing registrations very soon because we need to get prepared. So if you're interested in this, let's get on the phone today or tomorrow. But essentially what the curriculum is we teach you Python and data science in a general capacity. So you could use it pretty much anywhere. There's the fundamentals of it, right? Opening up CSV files, downloading data from online, manipulating data frames. Basically what that is it's like a complicated form of Excel where you could do a lot with the data. So that's our first section. Our second section, and this is pretty much month to month. It's a 3-month course. So the first month is teaching all the basics. The second month is applying all of this to the finance world, right? So we're going to be specifically getting a lot of economic data. We're going to be doing statistics on that type of data. And then to answer your question here, we're going to be doing over the back testing as well, right? So we're going to go, really, it's probably going to be week 3 and 4 that we're going to be specifically going over back testing. And all the stuff that I'm showing you here, we actually have back tested already. That's one of the reasons why these specific algorithms are running, because we have done the back testing for them, and I can actually show you the results of them, right? So if you join our live class, you're going to have access to that. We're going to show you how to back test specifically 3 different strategies, but then a lot of people will also decide to back test their own, and we'll help you out with that as well, right? Okay, and then the third part of the course is actually building out this robot, right? So in this part of the course, you might still be trying out some back testing because you want to build a robot and back test something, and you kind of go back and forth between the two, right? But really, the third month is going to be about building out that robot and getting this thing to actually work for you, and hopefully make you some money as well. Okay, so hopefully I answered that question there. The question is, do we teach back testing? And yes, we do. That's a big part of what we talk about. Okay, what would you say is the difficulty to learn everything? I mean, so I'll tell you, our students that are doing quite well will spend anywhere between like 5 to 15 hours learning per week, right? So I'd recommend, on average 10 hours a week, not including our lectures. So it means you're going to watch a lecture, you're going to go off, you're going to practice a bit. We'll give you some practice tests to work on. I think if you're someone who could dedicate 10 hours a week for 12 weeks, this is something you'll come out of this knowing a lot about programming, and you'll be able to be very good at an interview, in an interview capacity, right? And another thing that we offer you, by the way, is after we finish our courses, we also try to help you find jobs as well. So we'll introduce you to recruiters. We'll introduce you to hopefully some jobs as well, right? So some specific companies that are hiring, because we do have a pretty big network of companies, and we'll actually help you get that job. That's part of what we do, right? But to answer the question, yeah, the difficulty is about it's about 10 hours a week for 12 weeks, right? Okay, not a question, but demo's fantastic. Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. Okay, Joe, how many example files do you have in your library to learn from? So we have 4 trading strategies currently available right now. So you can learn for any one of those. But as I said, this is a work in progress, right? So this is something that over the next few weeks and months, we're going to be adding to more and more and more. We're going to be adding in more brokers. We're going to be adding in more strategies. We're going to be adding more data sources, more tools. We plan to make this, we want this to be something where you can use any broker very easily create a strategy and have access to some advanced tools like machine learning and all that sort of thing as well. We eventually, and this is way further down the line, we want to actually even set up the servers for you so that you can run your own servers or run your own code off of our servers, right? So it makes your life really easy if you want to run your own trading strategies. And that's kind of the direction that we're going in. So right now we have 4. Expect that to be closer to 8, probably within the next month or 2, along with adding in more and more brokers, right? So we're, so we have 4 right now, but again, it's growing quickly, right? Okay, so next one. Would learning another program like SQL or Tableau be helpful? Yes, definitely would be helpful. We don't specifically teach SQL in our live program, but it is something that could be actually quite valuable. We will be teaching this in future programs. And if it's something that you specifically feel you want to learn, or if this is something that comes up on your job interviews, we'll sit down with you personally and actually walk you through that, right? Because it is something that is quite valuable. We're more than happy to help out with that. And so Tableau is something that's a tool for anyone who doesn't know. It's essentially you're able to look at large amounts of data in a very simple format. Great tool. If you want some help using that, I could walk you through that. SQL is another thing that's also quite valuable, and we can walk you through that as well. So if you join our course, just ask questions about it, and we'll walk you through how to do that. So the question is, does the program repeat itself afterwards, like in the summer? Yeah, so we're planning on hosting this. We're planning out our next section right now, which is probably going to be in January, but we're getting feedback on that. It depends on when works best for you. So actually would be great is if you reached out to us, send out an email and tell us when you want to take the next course, because that's something that we're planning out now. So far, our plans are going towards end of January is the next round of this live course. And then we also plan to, beginning of February, have a machine learning course as well, right? So this one being about building out the algorithmic trading bot. The other one is going to be about data science and machine learning specifically, right? Kind of just getting deeper into that. So we definitely will be planning out future courses. Please just email either myself or Alicia, which you may have spoken to in the past, and just ask, but also tell us what time would work best for you so we can actually, like I said, we love getting feedback. And if you could tell us when would work best for you, we could try to accommodate you as well, because we'll take a bunch of votes from a bunch of people. Okay, so since you already manage money, why do you do the teaching? Just curious. So managing money, it's a good question, right? We manage a little over $1 million. If we were managing something like, $1 billion, then believe me, we wouldn't be teaching. So that's really the reason why. In order for you to make a ton of money, being like a hedge fund manager or a fund manager in general, you need to have a lot of assets under management. Usually you'll take a fee, which is like a 2 and 10 or a 2 and 20 is kind of the traditional, but it's gone down since then. Which means that if you're not managing $100 million and up, you're really not making much money. We make some money off that, but we're not quite there yet. So that's the reason why, right? Not to mention, this is also just something fun to do. And we love helping out other people in this industry as well. Do you need professional trading accounts or your personal would work? So again, we recommend using Alpaca, right? So Alpaca is something that you could sign up, paper trading. You don't need to register with them. You could, it's a US based broker, but even if you're in Guatemala or something, or wherever else in the world, you could sign up with them for paper trading, and you don't have to deposit any money, anything like that. You could mess around with their APIs, right? And then if the question is, do you want to use your own personal trading account for this to actually do the trades? Well, it depends on who the broker is, right? Because some brokers give you API access and allow you to use robots like this, and some of them don't, right? So I could tell you the ones that do have access, I know I can name off the top of my head is, I think it's FXCIM is what it's called, Alpaca, TD Ameritrade, and Interactive Brokers, just naming them off the top of my head. Those are all brokers that have APIs built in, and they do work. The question is here, Fidelity does not have an API as far as I know. So what you could do in the case if again, I'd recommend if you want to create this robot that automatically trades for you, there's only certain brokers that will allow you to do it. But what you could do is you could also set up the robot to give you alerts, right? So you could say, buy this, buy that, and you could do it manually as well, right? This is not a restriction by us. This is Fidelity saying they don't want this, right? Which may change in the future, by the way. All right, so I could tell you PAC is doing very well as a broker. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of brokers tried to follow suit. Probably Robinhood, if I were to guess, would be the next one, just given kind of their track record. Okay, so aside from Python for Finance course, what other courses does your company offer? So Python for Finance is our main course, right? It basically teaches you how to code in Python, how to do data science, and then how to do, how to apply data science to the finance world, including backtesting. This class that we're running right now, this live class, it's we're calling it Python for Finance, but next time around we might actually call it Algorithmic Trading because we're splitting this up a little bit because this curriculum is starting to get really big, right? So we're going to offer multiple different classes. The class that you're taking, that you'll be taking next week, that's starting next week, the live class, is really about teaching you how to build out the spot and how to do data science and that sort of thing. But again, we're going to be launching another course, planning another course for February. That'll be around machine learning as well. So that's going to give you a lot more broad different things they can study with us. But I'd love to hear what you would actually like to study, right? This is if you could write in the chat and just tell me, what is it that you'd want to learn about? We teach Python for Finance. It's because there's been a lot of demand for it, but I'd love to hear what you'd want to learn because we can either teach that if it's our capabilities, or we could we're looking to find more instructors as well. So we're looking to grow out. So please let me know what you think there. Does your course differ from the courses offered by Pluralsight? I'm not too familiar with Pluralsight. I'm just taking a look at them right now. Build better workflows. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with these guys. I can't comment on it. I'm sorry. I don't know. One thing I can tell you that's different between us and a lot of other courses is, first of all, we teach live, right? We have the videos only they can get. But we also teach people live, which means you get a lot of that interactive one-on-one kind of help, along with being able to talk to your classmates. And then also what differs us from other courses is that we're very specific to finance, right? So you could take a class learning data science or Python somewhere else, but with us, you'll learn how to do that, but also specifically to get into that JP Morgan position or into a hedge fund or something like that. We'll teach you specifically for the finance industry, right? Which also means that if you find trading stocks fun, this is going to be a great way for you to learn how to code. I'll tell you that much. It's definitely very fun building out these bots and seeing what they do, and being able to backtest strategies and all that sort of thing. In my mind, it's probably one of the most fun ways to learn how to code. So yeah, again, I don't know what Pluralsight does, but that's kind of the main benefits that we have and probably how we differ from them. Okay. When someone enrolls in a live class, does the person have lifetime access to videos only course? Yes. If you sign up for the live classes, you will have access to videos only forever. Which means any new videos that we come out with, which means any new code that we create, anything going forward forever, you will have access to, right? Okay. There's a lot of questions coming in. Okay. If updates are made to future versions of the course, will those updates be made available to existing students? Yes. So it's, I feel like this is very similar to the past question. If you sign up to a live course, then you'll have lifetime access to videos and code. So as this code gets improved, you're going to have access to that. As we add in more videos, you're going to have access to that. We're adding in constantly new videos. Like we're planning on adding in videos, like someone asked earlier about SQL. We want to add in videos on that. We're adding in videos on algorithmic trading. We're going to be adding in videos on machine learning, all to do with the finance field. So yeah, so if you sign up to a live course, you'll have lifetime access to all that stuff, right? Do I actively trade crypto with any of my bots? I used to trade crypto. Recently, we have not been trading crypto. I own crypto. I manually trade it. I do not use my bots to trade it. to be honest with you, it's probably a good idea, and we will probably be doing that in the future. Again, another course that we're thinking about doing, and again, love to hear your feedback and what you guys think, but we could also create a course on crypto trading. I'll tell you, I actually have a lot of experience trading crypto because I worked at Voyager back in the day, actually helped found Voyager. If you guys are familiar with crypto brokers, they're one of the biggest right now and quickly growing. I think I was employee number 4. So we built out their entire system. I'm very familiar with the way that crypto works, and we're planning on a course on that. But we just haven't had that many people ask for it, right? So if that's something you're interested in, we'll definitely keep that on our radar, and maybe we can have, a February or a March start for that kind of course as well. If we see enough interest from you guys, if you guys tell us that this is what you want to do. But also to let you know, the way that our system is set up right now, it won't be easy, or it won't be hard for you to add in a crypto broker as well, right? So just like how you have all the brokers here, you just add in another broker, which we can help you do. We can actually build that out for you if that's something that you're interested in. A lot of things that we do already, all our back testing, everything applies to that. Crypto is very similar. It's just different data sources, right? But it's the same sort of thing as back testing stocks. It's still price data. You just have more of it. You're not looking at financials so much. You're looking at other types of criteria, maybe from Twitter or whatever. But you'll be able to use the same framework to actually trade crypto, right? So if you join us on our live class, that's actually, I'd love to actually add that in and have that be one of the lectures in a live class. We can actually talk about specifically how to modify this for crypto. So if that's something you're interested in, we could definitely go down that path. It's not very hard to add in. And to be honest with you, we're actually thinking about doing an entire course just on crypto. It depends on how far you want to go into it. There's a bunch of stuff they could do, smart contracts and all those other things. I don't know if you want to get that deep. But our live class will definitely teach you how to do the trading capacity of it, right? To buy, sell, to analyze the different assets, whether it's crypto or stocks or bonds, it really doesn't matter. It's just different data sources, different brokers, right? So is Lumi Wealth an investment firm or school? If it's just a school, the investment firm, you run a subsidiary. Yeah, so the investment firm is outside of Lumi Wealth, right? So it's something that I run outside of the company, although we may be bringing that into Lumi Wealth soon. It's right now we're focused on the school. That's our main focus is to teach you guys and help people build algorithms. Our investors are quite happy with our investments so far. I could tell you, I don't know if you saw our Instagram, we are really beating the S&P 500 right now. Last time I checked, the S&P 500 is up 15% over the past 12 months, whereas we're up 30%. So we're doing double the S&P 500 with less risk, right? If you look at our trades, maybe I could post it to you guys at some point. I don't really want to log into all that stuff right now, but I could show you guys that not only did we beat the S&P 500 by a very large margin, we doubled them, right? But we also had much less risk, right? So when the stock market dropped like crazy in March, we didn't experience that, right? And we actually found that as a buying opportunity, and we bought up a lot of tech stocks during that time. So yeah, so we worked out well, but we're not currently growing our investors. If you are interested in that, we can have a separate discussion, but that's outside of Lumi Wealth, right? Okay. You have crypto that you've mined, and you want to, and you like to just do something with it instead of hodling it. A little crypto joke there. But yeah, so I mean, if you want to trade crypto, that's definitely something we can teach you how to do. If you join our live course, we'll show you how to, first of all, use Python, how to analyze different data for financial assets. We could very easily include crypto in that. All it is just a different data source. I could show you how to do that. And then when we're doing the trading aspect of it for the algorithmic trading, we just add in a different broker. That's it. All right, so if that's something that you're interested in, definitely join our live course, and we can go through that. And I actually think that'd be fun. I think a lot of the other students would benefit from this too, because it's allowing you to trade. And this is kind of where we want to go with this. Like my vision behind this is that you'll be able to trade real estate with this one day, which would be very cool and something you could do with crypto. And I've actually spoken to a bunch of people about this before, turning real estate assets into crypto assets and trading that. There's a lot of really cool stuff possible with crypto and with algorithmic trading. So If you're interested, definitely come talk to us, set up a phone call, and we can get you going with that. Do I trade binary options for either crypto or Forex? I do not trade binary options. They're very highly levered. I've used them before. I use regular stock options personally. I don't use binary options. And the reason behind that is just because there's a crazy amount of leverage in them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're good or bad, but it's just not something that I do on a regular basis. I've used them before, but not recently. Reading about smart contracts, I'd love to learn about this topic. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good feedback. Thank you for that. Yeah, so like I said, we don't teach about smart contracts right now, not in our course. We teach about how to set up Python and data science and trading. But the smart contracts thing, if that's something you're interested in, then we can definitely get this course going for you. Probably something on a March type date, right? What kind of level of math and or statistics knowledge is necessary? You don't need a lot of math or statistics knowledge. Basic knowledge is good enough. We'll teach you kind of like what you're going to be using this math and statistics for. You don't need to be, believe me, we don't have these crazy, we do have a couple of very good math majors and some people are very, very intelligent at what they're doing, but that is not a requirement. You don't need to be some stats genius to join our course. We'll actually teach you how this stuff works. And if you're confused about how the stats work, I'm more than happy. While we're teaching this live course, we also can do a little bit of one-on-one tutoring, and we're going to have what's called office hours. So you can actually come in and talk to us. And if you have any questions about any of the statistics or math, which I don't think you will, because none of it's that complicated, I'd be more than happy to explain it to you as well. Yeah, and that's, okay, I guess we got the question twice, right? Is the minimum level of math or statistics knowledge? No, the answer is no. If you've taken, high school level statistics, you're probably good. And we'll teach you, like, that doesn't mean that we don't do anything complicated. That just means that we'll teach you how to do that kind of stuff. You don't need to come in being a math genius, right? Okay, cool. So I think that's all the questions, unless you guys have any more. That was quite a few today. It's great. Love this.
Let's just look at the chat just to make sure that we don't have any there.
Yeah, I've looked over the chat here. I think we've covered everything in the chat. Can the bots we'll be building be applied to Forex trading? Maybe that's one that we missed earlier. And the answer, it's the same as the answer for crypto. Yes. It's just a different broker. It's just a different asset. You're going to gather information on it differently. You're going to trade on it differently, but it is all going to be part of our course. We're going to teach you, stocks is kind of just the main thing that people want to learn about, who are just interested in it, but this applies to any asset across the board, whether it's crypto, whether it's Forex. If you want to learn about how to analyze those investments and trade them, this is the course for you, right? So that's exactly what we'll be teaching you. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think that's all the questions. Again, if you guys want to book a call with us to talk and you want to actually learn some of the stuff, you can go in here, go to our main website, lumiwealth.com, see best-selling course. This is where you can read up on kind of some of the stuff that, you get a brochure and there's a bunch of reading that you can do. But I'd highly recommend that you actually either email us or book a call. And so that we can answer any questions they have specifically, and we can get you all set up. All right. All right. So yeah, so I think that's everything. Thank you very much for your time, guys. This has been a very fun one to do. Definitely enjoy showing off little trading robots, or like I said, they're fun to build. They're fun to show off. It's a great way to learn how to code, and it's a great way to learn specifically financial concepts. So yeah, hopefully you guys will join us on our live course, and thank you again very much. Hope you have a great day.